I think you have to reconnect with your why. Like, why did I start? Why I'm doing this? Like, come to, like, it's easy to say, like, yeah, I'm super connected to my why, but no, like sometimes we are like on the move, like on like doing things like automatically, and we forget like why we started. I started this 12 years ago, and sometimes I stop myself and I'm like, yeah, why did I start? Why did I started this company or this brand or this service or whatever you do? Like, I think the most important thing when you're feeling lost or you don't know what's happening, reconnect with your why, and also like let go, because do not marry like an idea, like a concept. If you, I know, like maybe you are like, okay, but this was my idea from the beginning. You have to evolve, you have to grow, you have to, so you don't have like, it's important to not marry to an idea or a concept. You also have to let go and evolve.
Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I am your host, Angela Duncan, speaker, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, and we talk all things money and business. Today's episode is sponsored by freemoneytipsbook.com, freemoneytipsbook.com. Head over there, download your free ebook, 7 Unshakable Tips to get you started on your financial journey. On today's episode, I get to interview Paola, and she is with A Woman. And we're going to talk about the difference between hosting in-person events in Mexico versus the US. Check out this episode. Hi, Paola. How are you today?
Hi, how are you, Angela? Happy to be here.
Yes, awesome. I'm excited for you to share a little bit about your story. I would love to hear how you got to, where you're at today in your company, and kind of talk about, where you started in that journey.
Well, I'm 36 years old. I studied marketing when I was at college, and I developed a company that was first called Women's Weekend. Then I changed the name to What a Woman, and now this year, like doing all this rebranding for A Woman, knowing that a woman can be anything, right? So it's been changing and evolving with women around. It's right now it's only in Mexico, but we've been in Spain, in Madrid, and in Colombia, in Bogota a few years ago. And what I aim, or what this company aims, is provide like the right tools to be the best versions of themselves. So we do conferences, workshops, classes, and different experience so that women have these tools to be the best version of themselves.
That's awesome. So you do many different types of events to meet women in their different environments. So I like that. So let's talk a little bit about maybe some lessons you learned. And if you want to go like specifically to doing events in person versus some of the workshops or classes, because obviously putting on a conference is much different than putting on classes. So talk about some of the lessons you've learned along your journey of being in business.
I think it's like you have to keep learning, right? Like everything is changing. Prior we have COVID, and that was like a big hit. So I always did my event like in person, and then when COVID hit, we have to do a whole different thing and do all the content online. So I think one of the challenges, or one of the things I've learned, is that you have to be in constant learning. You cannot stop and say, I know everything. I've been doing this for 12 years already, and I cannot say I know everything. Like each year there's a challenge. Each year you have to be on top of things each year. So I think that the best lesson for me is like you have to like keep going, keep learning, and always like know about different things, because when you are very narrow, I don't know if the word is narrow-minded, but like you're very specialized in something, maybe you're not seeing the whole picture. So it's good to be specialized in, and like for me, I'm specialized in doing women events, but I also am eager to learn about other things that will give me different perspectives that I could put into my events, and they will be like better.
Very nice. And so it can be very challenging, right? Being a business owner, putting on events and classes. What do you feel like you do when maybe you're feeling stuck, or if you're feeling lost in your business? What are some things that work for you to help you get past that point?
I think you have to reconnect with your why. Like, why did I start? Why I'm doing this? Like, come to, like, it's easy to say like, yeah, I'm super connected to my why, but no, like sometimes we are like on the move, like on like doing things like automatically, and we forget like why we started. I started this 12 years ago, and sometimes I stop myself and I'm like, yeah, why did I start? Why did I started this company or this brand or this service or whatever you do? Like, I think the most important thing when you're feeling lost or you don't know what's happening, reconnect with your why, and also like let go, because do not marry like an idea, like a concept. If you, I know like maybe you are like, okay, but this was my idea from the beginning. You have to evolve, you have to grow, you have to, so you don't have like, it's important to not marry to an idea or a concept. You also have to let go and evolve.
Yeah. So what do you say is your why? What is your why today?
Connect with women. I'll like literally build a community of women, and like show women that if we work together, we're capable to bigger things.
Yeah, love that. Um, I'm sure that you've had a lot of mentors over the years, especially like when we're feeling lost, we tend to reach out to other people. What is some advice that you feel like you've received from other people, or that you could give to the audience about running a business as a female entrepreneur?
Well, the best advice I've ever had actually came from one of my uncles that he was actually like a mentor for me, and I think this is especially for women, or maybe men too, but I think women more. Like, it's okay to fail.
Hmm.
Like, we're always so I don't know, so scared of
Mhm.
failing, because maybe if you fail, it's the end of things, or you're not gonna stand back up. And I think if you put down that pressure and you say to yourself, it's okay to fail, like from failure, you can also learn, and you can also maybe change your direction to another thing that you weren't seeing at the time. So I was very, I don't know if the word in English is perfectionist, like always trying to be perfect. And I think women do, like, we only want to do things if they're perfect. So once I started like thinking like, no, it's okay if I fail, I started taking more risk. I started
Hmm.
doing more things. I started like researching other environments or other things that were out of my comfort zone, because I was like stuck in my comfort zone. So when you put that pressure off your shoulders and you say it's okay to fail, you can stand up again and try it again. Like, other opportunities come by.
Yeah. So you've had the opportunity to put on some really big conferences in Mexico. Can you talk a little bit, because not everyone has put on their own conference. What are some things that you learned that you can tell other people when they're putting on a conference? What should they be paying attention to?
It's, I think it's a sum of different things. Like, first, obviously, your content. Who, or like, which speakers are you going to invite?
Mhm.
Because that obviously is like one of the main things about why people are going to go to your conference, right? So having good content, making sure your speakers know how to speak in public, because I have had like, there are a lot of great women out there, but once they're on stage, they cannot like have this conversation that connects with people. So you have to do a little bit of research in who is going to be there and why.
Mm.
And after that, I think it's everything else. Now you have your concept, your content, like who is going, like what's your target, you know, like do a little research, like who is interested in this content, so everything you do, publicity, ads, whatever, goes directly to your target. And well, the thing you know best, Angela, how to make it profitable. I think that's the first thing. I
Yeah.
think that's the first thing, like how to make things profitable. For me, for example, is sponsorships.
Mhm.
In Mexico, women are not used to pay for a ticket, so it's very difficult for them to pay for something. They're used like for women, everything is free, you know. So it's very difficult. I'm working on that and like educating my target that it's worth paying because
Yes.
you have very good content. But it's been like a wave, like we're not there yet. So for example, for me, my business model is only sponsorships.
Hmm. That's very interesting to know. So being here in the US, do you plan to do events here as well and kind of shift? Because that's definitely true. Here in the US, I'm used to paying for a ticket to go to an event. Now you still make money on the sponsorships, but now you're adding to that profit by paying for a ticket. So that's very interesting to know that in a different country that the customary way of going to an event is different than here in the US.
Exactly. And the good thing is you have two different flows of income, because if you only depend on sponsorships, it's very risky if one of your main sponsors like backs down for the next year. So you have to have like other ways of income, not only one, because it can be very risky at the end if you depend only on one. So yeah, I'm planning actually doing Miami. I hope in November. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to change a lot of things that will work better for the US.
Very nice. So what do you see in the future for your company? If you can dream big for a minute, what do you hope that your company will look like maybe 5 years from now?
Well, I would like to have different cities in the US, like not just Miami, like maybe other cities, like maybe Austin or LA.
Mm,
And so grow in the US. The US difference than Mexico. In Mexico, everything is very centralized. Like everything happens in Mexico City.
mm,
Brands, everything like media, everything is in Mexico City. I tried to do another city once, and my sponsors were like, "Yeah, but no, I want to only sponsor the one in Mexico City." So
mm.
it's different than in the US, that it's literally different markets for almost like each state. So I would like to expand in the US if Miami it's successful.
Yeah. So what to you, what does it mean to be successful? Like if you look at an event, what has to happen for you for it to be successful to you?
Like I think that's exactly like success for each of us is unique. It's different. Like success for me will be different for you, and sometimes it's hard to like understand that. And like you're like, why is that person not doing this or doing more, or like it's because maybe success for that person is different than yours. But I believe that constant growing and learning is part of success, and like success is not the destination, it's your journey, right? So,
Mm, mhm,
and there's always a saying in Mexico that you can not always be up, like on top of the mountain. You will be down on top, down on top. So maybe you're successful now, but it's not permanent. You will have to still grow and learn and still like working on yourself, on your company. It's not something that you achieve and like, oh, I'm successful, I'm here forever, you know. It's something that you have to work forever.
That's great advice too. So you do the in-person events. Is there ability for people to watch it online, or do you have any other ways that people can join and learn from you besides the in-person events?
Actually, after your advice, Angela, I'm launching a membership.
Very nice.
This event in Mexico is it's in February 2024, and I'm launching a membership because I'm recording all this content that I have. Also, I have like 5 different conferences rooms. I have over 100 speakers. So it's a lot of content, and it was like one shot. Like if you weren't there, you missed it. And now I'm launching this membership that you can watch it online if maybe you went to the event and you want to watch it again and see it again. So it's this membership that will have different perks, and one of the perks will be the online content.
That's awesome, because then you can just further the reach of who can watch it, not just in person. So I love that. And I'm so happy for you as well. Last piece of advice. Anything else you want to tell the audience about business, money, anything else that you've learned?
I think choose very well with whom you partner.
Hmm.
Like it's I've learned it the hard way, and I think it's very, very important, especially when we're out of college. We always want to like partner with our friends, like, yeah, let's make this business, let's do this. And then business have, like, obviously having a company, there's a lot of stress, so you will end up fighting with your friends. Or I have my personal experience with my ex-boyfriend. So always choose well with whom you partner, and be very diligent or aware that he or her doesn't have the same capabilities or characteristics that you have. You know,
Mhm.
because sometimes our friends, like, well, we both of us studied marketing, so we know the same things, you
Yeah.
know. So partner with someone that you can learn from, you know. I think that's very important, uh because like, I don't know, like putting off the romantic idea of building a company together, you always have to keep learning from your business partners, you know. You don't
Yeah.
have to, if you both know the same things, it's like it won't lead you anywhere bigger than you already will do it yourself, you know.
Right.
So
You're not growing.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
think that will be my last advice.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome. I really like that, because you're right. Oftentimes we find like-minded people and think we can work together, which is probably true, but that's not going to benefit the company. You want someone who's an expert more in what you're not, or what your weaknesses are, so that you guys can grow the company together. So really good advice. Okay, so if our audience wants to get in touch with you, learn more about the events that you have coming up or the membership, what's the best way for them to reach you?
It's at well, on Instagram, it's a woman MX, and my personal Instagram is Paola, Paola dot Reyner. That's Paola dot Reyner. And I think there you will have all my information.
Awesome. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to be part of your conference and here in Miami in November. So I will definitely keep in touch, because I will be buying a ticket to go.
Perfect. Thank you, Angela.
Awesome.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning into Empower Her Money podcast. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, share this podcast, and leave a review wherever you are tuning in.